Okay, a little bit of a warning. I'm about to go on a rant. So if you're someone who's easily offended, this might not be the video for you. But if you're still here, I want to start, before I even launch into my rant, with two important questions. The first one is, do you believe that finances are something that's important to pay attention to? Do you believe your financial health is critical? And if you answer yes to that question, my next follow-up question would be, are you yourself financially independent? And 95% of the people watching this statistically have to say no. So if 95% of the people watching this say finances are important, but on the other hand, they haven't become financially independent themselves, in an age where you can get information on just about any goal you set for yourself, what am I to assume? Well, what I'm to assume is that 95% of the people watching this right now either lack integrity, willpower, motivation, or maybe you're just lazy, or maybe because developing your financial health is something that takes certain character traits, you just don't have the virtues that are aligned with success, and basically you suck. Now, here's another question. Was that in any way, shape, or form helpful? And the answer is of course not. But that's the same shit we do to our clients all the time. There's a growing number of people on social media, I wish there wasn't, but they work within our industry, which is the only reason why it bothers me. And for some reason, it's really cool to tell people, you're lazy, you don't have the hustle, and basically beat their chest in these I'm great, you suck type of self-exhortation disguised as I'm just telling it like it is to motivate you. Telling it like it is only has value when, one, what you're saying is true, number two, what you're saying is useful. And in that case, because human behavior is so much more complex, anyone who breaks human behavior down to you're lazy has no idea what they're talking about. Secondly, who the fuck do you think you are? Everything you have in this industry is given to you by permission of the clients that come to you, hoping that you can help them establish some solutions, and we hold them in contempt, and we put them down, and we're insensitive, non-empathetic, and we do not help them develop the resources to be at their most resourceful in bridging the gap between where they are and where they want to be. And I heard one genius say, well, if you're not willing to get up really early and go to the gym and train, literally said this, until you puke, well, you're just destined to be fat. Wow, genius. Change comes incrementally and it doesn't come linearly. A lot of times it's very messy. And here's what's even more astonishing. A lot of the times when we come at our clients with these black and white exhortations about what virtues they possess, or more often, what virtues they lack, we're dealing with people who have been very successful in their careers, in their families, with creating and running businesses for over a decade. Now, why is that important? Well, here's why that's important. Because the Small Business Administration says that if you start a business today, 95% of the people, like you, will be out of business within 5 years. And for most people, it's not even going to take them 5 years. But if you're in business for 5 years, you should celebrate if you're one of the 5% that make it, because in the next 5 years, a large portion of you will be out of business as well. So if we're talking to a client that's in our category, in that category, and very often we're talking to someone who is part of the very small percentage that have accomplished what a lot of other people have failed to accomplish despite a very admirable effort. So they built great businesses like that, and they've achieved what they've achieved by being lazy, incompetent, unmotivated. Does any of that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. So maybe the client is not the problem. Maybe it's our mindset and how we approach the client in nothing but outright contempt that's the issue. And here's the consequences in the very near future. I'm not a technology expert. Anyone who knows me watching this is probably laughing right now. Nobody would ever accuse me of being one, but I'm in meetings with people who are absolutely competent in that space. And here's what's going to happen in the next few years. There's going to be wearable technologies, and I'm not talking about wearables as we know them today. I'm talking about sensors on people's bodies that's going to pick up biometric data that's going to allow those devices to know a hell of a lot more about the physiological state and needs of the individual than their trainer. And they're going to be able to give them real-time recommendations and solutions and modify them, not every 3 to 4 weeks, but day to day, if that is what's required based on the data being sent back. So if we're going to put ourselves in a position, hey, I've got the solution, you want to have abs like me, do what I've done, we're going to be obsolete. Technology is going to crush us. It's kind of be like people working a blockbuster video who never saw it coming. But the difference between them and us is the attitude that we take towards our clients sometimes. It's almost like we're campaigning for our own inevitable obsolescence. But here's what's not going to be obsolete anytime soon. A human being having a human conversation with someone they care about. A human being who's able to ask the right questions and pick up on even the most subtle nuances of the conversation to help align what someone says they want with what they truly deeply value, identify conflicts and constraints that stop them from having it and eradicate them to help them move progressively further and further towards being the best version of themselves based on what that individual wants, not what we think they should want or what we want for them. So if we're able to bear ourselves and have an open mind, an open heart, and an open will, and hold caring space for someone because we want them to have truly what we have, well then we can't crush open heart, open mind, and open will with our own fears, our own judgment, and our own cynicism about why people do or don't do the things that we think they should do. That's not helpful. We either help people along the way or we're in the way.